Hey friends, my name is Gabrielle and welcome to FrumiousReads, and today we are doing the big book tag. So this is going to be really fun. It's a really quick tag. Before I start, I just want to put out a disclaimer that I tag everyone who watches this video to do it, because I think that it's really fun to see what everyone has on their shelves. So if you're watching this, I definitely recommend you should do it. For this tag, you show off the 5 biggest books on your shelf that you have read and the 2 that you haven't. So I'm going to start from biggest to smallest, and the first biggest book that I have read that is on my shelf is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Now, I feel like you could also count books 4 through 7 for this if you want to, but I'm picking the last one because the last Harry Potter book is probably one of my favorite Harry Potter books that's ever come out, and it is a total of 759 pages. So it'll be interesting to see if any of my other books beat that. The next biggest book on my shelf is one I actually got at a Renaissance festival, and it is called The Sorceress of Elysium. It's set back in 1494 Barcelona, and it follows this girl who starts off being a servant in a rich man's household. It turns out that she's really good with math, so then the man slyly hires her to be his accountant of sorts, and then she gets taken on this journey and she learns magic, and it's amazing. It's a really good book. I was blown away by how much I loved it, and I highly recommend anyone to read The Sorceress of Elysium. It is written by Anne-Marie Banks, and it clocks in at 717 pages. And believe me, the story is worth every one. The third biggest book on my shelf that I have read is Magic of Blood and Sea by Cassandra Rose Clarke. It is a pirate story mixed with magic and deception, and it's fantastic. It is told from the perspective of Anana of the Tanaroo, who is the princess of a pirate clan, and she doesn't want to get married, so she runs away from her commitment and ends up having to go on the run as the royal family she was supposed to marry into sends an assassin after her. So overall, I am recommending that you guys read Magic of Blood and Sea. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful book to read if you love fantasy, and it clocks in at a total of 510 pages. Alright, the fourth biggest book on my shelf that I have read is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I feel like this book has been out for a while now, and I love this cover, and it's super soft, so it's one of my favorite books that I've read of Rainbow Rowell's. It is basically a spin-off of Fangirl. It tells the story of 2 magical teens who hate each other, but also kind of have crushes on each other, and then they are forced to fight this upcoming evil wizard. It's basically kind of a what Harry Potter could have been fan fiction a little bit, in a way, but I really enjoy it. It's definitely a different take on the magical schooling system in Europe. I like this system, the schooling system in this book, better because it includes a lot more magical creatures, and is set in more modern day, so I think that's really interesting to read. And this book clocks in at a total of 517 pages, so this is actually longer than the other book I just mentioned, but I couldn't tell. They're very close in length. And the fifth biggest book on my shelf is The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. This is the 3rd book in the His Dark Materials series. It is a fantastic series, and it has to do with this girl Lyra, who finds herself in the presence of this magical artifact and is on the run for people who want to take it from her and believe that she's part of a prophecy. So this is a fantastic series if you haven't read it yet. Philip Pullman actually just released another book called another series called The Book of Dust, and the first volume is La Belle Sauvage, and that was an amazing book to read. I think I'm going to go back and do a reread of His Dark Materials and go through and analyze each book because it is so good. And it clocks in at actually 518 pages, so I guess on the last 3 books I kind of misjudged how big they were because this book looks smaller to me than Carry On and Magic of Blood and Sea, but it is actually longer than both of them. So that is this book. It's totally torn up because I've read it for years and years and years, but it's one of my favorite. It's my favorite series ever. And now comes 2 books that I have not read yet. The first, which is The Morte, dArthur. It is by Sir Thomas Malory with an introduction by Elizabeth J. Bryan. It is a gigantic book, as you can tell, and basically it goes through the legends of Arthur, and all the legends are complete in 1 volume, so that's why it's so big. And the print is so tiny. But it clocks in at, wow, this is a very long book. I did not realize how big this book was until I saw the page count. It is 938 pages, and I just have not had time to sit down and read 938 pages of very tiny print. I've always been interested in them, but I don't know much about them, so hopefully I'll have time soon to sit down and kind of make my way through this book. And the biggest book on my shelf that I have not read yet is the Outlaw Bible of American Poetry. Basically, it's a collection of all the different types of poems that aren't classically published. And it is like, it's huge because the pages are so big, but page length-wise, it's actually not as long as some of the other books. So I feel like that definitely plays a factor in how big the book is the size of the book, and then how big the type is used. So this one has some different size typing, but it is actually only 684 pages, but I think we can all agree that this is a gigantic book, and yeah, there's a reason why I haven't read it yet. So that is the end of the big book tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, let me know in the comments down below, and I'd love to see your guys' videos in response to this, so please feel free to do this tag yourself and then link it in the comments down below as well. I'd love to hear and see from you guys. But for now, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This one was a lot of fun to film. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel yet, then you definitely should, because I upload bookish videos twice a week, as well as reaction videos whenever something cool comes out that I want to react to. But for now, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.